I think I've always known in some level that I always wanted to work for myself. And I went freelance in my mid-20s and did it completely the wrong time because I just was in a world of mental health and mental illness, like bad, like confusing times.
Did you know at the time?
Nah, not in hindsight now. Like I look back now and go, oh yeah, well, obviously. But at the time I was like, oh, I felt like a failure. I felt like I couldn't apply myself to things. There was all these different things I felt about myself. Now I know myself better. And since I've worked for myself, look what I've been able to achieve. It's because I have autonomy. I was never meant to work in a 9-to-5 office job. I need creative freedom and I need to be able to focus my energies on things that really passionately excite me because that is where you're going to get the best of me. And I found that I could put all the same skill set that I had in those jobs into working in the cancer community and doing things that excite me in that way. So, yeah, it was hard because I'd just gone back to my job at Radley and I was there part-time and the whole team had changed. All my friends had left in that time period. Like all the because I did social media, but it kind of sat more in the e-com team by that point. I was like, I'm not really like I'm more of a creative. Like I love the analytics, but I need someone to just give me the data and go, this is what we found. And then I can go off and creative with that. I don't need to be doing the reports. That's not the way my mind thrives. Like you're going to get nothing out of me. In fact, you're just going to get me sat in front of a spreadsheet for half the day. Like, oh my God, like I can't do it.
Yeah, your heart rate's just going to slow down.
I lose complete interest and I don't do the job and then I get disciplinaries because I'm not pulling my weight. Like that is the story of my life. My whole employment history has been me going, we've noticed this, like I remember one job I had where I was so bored again because it was like I've been doing social media but it kept getting put into e-com because they were trying, it was back in the day when social media you were trying to prove the value of it. We're in a very different time now. So we're talking about 8 years ago. And I was so bored because I was like, this isn't what I want to do. I want to do like creative. I want to do like copy. I want to do all these things. And so I like started off back when I was a blogger, like Somerset House, walking the cobbles, like snapped me in my alternative outfit, which wasn't the same as everyone else's. You know the kind. I was like, yes, I remember these. And I was there building my own blog at work. And I got caught twice. And then I got pulled in the office and told off. But I look back now and I can laugh at it. But back then I was really upset with myself because I was like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just apply myself? And I just know I can't. I just can't. Like if it's not something, all of those kind of roles were completely the antithesis of what I should have been doing. And I'm really proud that I know that now because of the work I've done on myself, that I can see it for what it is. Because obviously it's quite damaging to your self-esteem if you just think you're shit. And with the job, I went back and I kind of knew, like, I'd put all my heart and energy into creating Girl vs. Cancer. I was doing the podcast. Things were going well. And I could feel the excitement in me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm good at this. So for the first time in years, since I can remember, I'm like, I'm good at what I'm doing. So I was back at Radley and that was kind of like paying bread and butter, paying my rent, but I wasn't enjoying it. And then the podcast was picking up and Girl vs. Cancer stuff was picking up. And I was like, oh God, like, I can't balance all of this. So what I actually initially did was I left my job, but then I went into freelance doing social media for a charity, which we've both worked with, the Eva Pill.
Oh, amazing.
So I went over and worked with the Eva Pill for a bit and that kind of made sure that I had that constant like cash flow coming in because I was doing consultancy work. But again, I soon found out I was like, I just need to be doing my own thing. So it was a bit of a stepping stone to complete like the journey of going freelance. But it was a big risk because, you know, when you work for yourself, you've got no one to pick up the slack if you don't. You know, there's peaks and troughs when it comes to finances coming in. So you never really feel financially secure. You've got to go out and hustle and get the jobs. You've got to really like back yourself and champion yourself and put yourself out your comfort zone a lot. There's a lot of imposter syndrome. So there's a lot of stuff that goes with it. But, you know, I'm like, I think it's 5 years in April that I went and started working for myself and I live on my own. I've got my dog. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got a roof over my head and I've done that all on my own. I'm really proud of that. So yeah, it was a big risk, but a massive reward.